Hey guys, what's up? I just want to do a quick little video for you, just giving you my thoughts on the Mass Effect 3 Extended Cut, which came out yesterday. I know for PS3 users in Europe it's not out till July the 4th, I think it is. So be warned anyway, this video does have spoilers. So if you do not want to have the end of Mass Effect 3 spoiled for you, if you've somehow amazingly managed to avoid it at this stage across the web, then stop watching now, because there are spoilers in this video. Okay, so I'll tell you a few of the things I liked about the extended cut. Overall I liked it, I really liked it. I thought it was a huge improvement on the original ending. There were bits I didn't like, which I'll go into after this. I think the reason I liked it, which is clashing with the reasons a lot of people still don't like it, comes down to a difference in how you experience stories. And there's, in my opinion, two ways you can experience a story. There's emotionally and analytically. And for me, I usually at the start of a story, I'm experiencing it very analytically. So at the beginning of Mass Effect 1, when they're telling you about all this crazy science stuff and Mass Effect fields, you're kind of going, how does all that work? And you feel very analytical. But by the end of Mass Effect 3, I'm so emotionally invested in the story that I'm experiencing it in a different way than I was at the beginning. And for me, the extended cut, it did pander to people like me who experienced the story in a very emotional way, and that's what I liked about the ending. Especially, I picked synthesis. I spent a long time trying to decide. I still don't think any of the three choices were ideal, really. I think that's what they were going for. Would I have liked a conventional ending where you just defeat the Reapers and Shepard lives and everyone lives happily ever after? Yes, of course I would have liked that. Everyone, I think, wanted that. But look, this is the way they chose to end it, guys. And of the three endings, to me, Synthesis felt like it had the brightest future for the galaxy. Now, I'm not going to go into the moral debate of whether changing everyone's DNA against their will is, acceptable. And just for me, the way I chose my ending was what's best in the long run. And Synthesis of the three endings seemed to have the most positive outcome for everyone that I cared about and all the races and species. So that is the one reason I picked it. And also because I felt Edie's speech was by far the most touching of the three. And when she says I'm alive, and when she gives Liara that big hug at the end, I swear I'm not gonna lie, manly tears were shed when Liara and Edie had their little hug at the end. It was a really beautiful moment. And Sam Hulick's music was amazing through it. One thing I really liked that they changed was the music. When Joker's flying the Normandy through the relay, before the music was really jarring and really unpleasant, actually, and actually reminiscent of the previous ending, in that it was just floating along and then suddenly becomes really jarring and just ends in a big burst of what the fuck. So I like that they fixed that. The music was much nicer this time around. Everything I thought was just much nicer this time around. Anyway, to get back to my point, the people who are experiencing the Mass Effect story on a more analytical level are disappointed with this ending for a number of different things, because of plot holes, because they feel that there's too much, and I put this in quote, space magic. I can understand why people are upset with that, because previously Mass Effect as a universe was always very detailed about the science of how things work. It really was. And it kind of stopped at this point, and it just became this, I won't say magical, because some species billions of years ago created the Reapers, so who's to say they didn't have a different form of energy that we just can't comprehend. But to all intents and purposes, it maybe was a little bit lazy to just say, yeah, it's space magic. That's what happens. It's a big burst of a green bubble or blue or red bubble, but whatever. Every story has plot holes, guys, and if you analyze every story too much, I think you start to enjoy it less. Like, I don't know, what are some big ones? Does anyone remember that Star Trek movie a few years ago where Kirk gets blasted out of the ship and lands on an ice planet, completely random ice planet in the middle of space, and just so happens that Spock is also on that planet, future Spock, and it also just so happens that he landed on this tiny little patch of planet on this gigantic planet where Spock happened to be. Come on, you know. And people weren't complaining about that at the time, and I thought, well, that's a ridiculous fucking plot hole there. But you know, this is just my point. Batman Begins, Scarecrow and was it Ra's al Ghul? They turn all the water into steam in order to make everyone breathe in the toxin, but people are made of water, and you know, people should have turned into steam too, so, and melted. So, you know, every story has plot holes, guys, and my point is that sometimes when the emotional side of the story is being told really, really well, as I felt the extended cut did, it makes me able to overlook some of the faults in the logic of the story, if that makes any sense. Would I have preferred a different ending where it wasn't based on kind of space magic and stuff like that? Yes, I would have, but as it stands, I'm much happier with the extended cut than I was with the original ending. I remember the first time I finished Mass Effect 3, I was just, I couldn't believe it. Like, my girlfriend walked into the room, and I've said this before, my girlfriend walked into the room and told me that the look on my face was like someone just told a 5-year-old kid that Santa Claus doesn't exist. I was that disappointed and just shocked, really, and just taken aback and appalled by what I had just seen. I was just, what? I was just, that's the end of, that is the end of Mass Effect? I couldn't believe it. I was convinced it was a setup for a sequel, but then from reading the forums and stuff, I discovered that wasn't the case, and that was actually the end. I was shocked, couldn't believe it. I was so disappointed, but never angry. And this is something I've been getting on Twitter a lot, is well, I've been getting a lot of rage from people, and I'll get onto that in a minute, but people are saying, do you forgive BioWare now? It's like, I was never angry with BioWare to necessitate forgiving them, because I was just disappointed at the end, but they didn't do that on purpose to upset everyone, so I wasn't angry about it. They just, I don't know, made a mistake. Who knows what happened behind closed doors, guys, and how that decision was made. But look, they fixed it for a lot of us. For those of us invested in the story on a very emotional level, and who choose to overlook some of the flaws in the logic because the ending was emotionally very satisfying for me, the new ending. I'm okay with that, you know. I'm cool with it. Like I said, it has flaws, but what doesn't, you know? Speaking of rage, my God, Twitter yesterday was insane. Twitter and the forums, and it's like, I can completely understand and to some point empathize with people who are upset about the ending. And if you're still upset about the ending, that's totally cool. I empathize. But I was having people screaming abuse in caps on their keyboards, little keyboard cap warriors, telling me I'm an EA whore and that EA paid me to say the ending was good. Listen, I wish EA paid me to say the ending was good. EA, if you're listening, pay me to say the ending is good, and I'll say it's good. Show me the money, baby. But guys, that's absolutely ridiculous to say that. It's just, it staggers belief that people think this actually happens, and no company would do that, guys. They wouldn't. It would be so stupid to pay, especially someone like me who's a complete unknown, to say that they like the ending. It's just stupid, guys. It's really, and I had a guy get really angry at me, call me a cocksucker, and I'm sucking EA and BioWare's balls, and like, you know, what can I say? Because I said I liked the ending, and it's strange, you know. And I'm not going to take the attitude that a lot of people have, cough Colin Moriarty, and say that gamers are entitled, because I don't believe that. I believe that the Mass Effect fans reacted because they were upset because of their love for the series. I don't think they were acting entitled. I don't think they were whiny entitled brats or anything like that. And if they are whiny and entitled, then so am I, because I also believe that Mass Effect deserved a much better ending than the one it got. And it's got that now, in my opinion. So don't get angry with me, because that's just my opinion. But yeah, fuck, I got a lot of abuse on Twitter yesterday, but you know, that's okay. That's just comes with the territory. If you're going to publicly have opinions on things, you must expect that people will disagree with them quite forcefully. But I think that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. I really enjoyed the extended cut. You can give out to me because I picked the wrong ending and tell me why your ending was better. But for me, Synthesis is my canon, because not because of the choice itself, but just because it seems to be the one that leaves everyone the happiest and the safest and at the most, and has the most chance for peace in the future, you know. Okay, one more thing. I'll tell you one thing that I never liked about the ending and still don't. And this is something that is not unique to Mass Effect. It's something in gaming in general that I don't like. It happened in Deus Ex as well, both Deus Ex games and a number of other games. I just don't like the concept of multiple endings. I don't. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't like variation in the endings. But say, for example, Mass Effect 2, that ending was perfect for me. There were slight variations in it, but the overall universe, the outcome was pretty much the same no matter what happened. What I don't like about this Mass Effect 3 ending, my one biggest problem with it, is that it kills the chance of any future games in that universe, because the endings are so wildly different that in order to create another game in the future, one of those endings will have to be picked as canon, which invalidates the other two choices. And I don't like that, because I don't like prequels. I hate prequels. I'm sick of prequels. I like when stories move forward. I don't like when they move backwards. And I just, you know, to me, the ending of Mass Effect 3 kind of says there won't be any other Mass Effect games in this universe. This is done with now, and you cannot make another Mass Effect game unless you have 3 different versions of that game, you know. And I didn't like that, because maybe that's an emotional response, because it effectively kills the series forever in a way, because it's finished. It's got one definitive end on it now. And some would say that's a good thing, because sometimes franchises can be milked and whatever. But I like a story to have one canon ending. Variations in it, slight, are okay, but I hate when a story has huge differences at the end, like in Mass Effect and Deus Ex. But when I choose one of these 3 endings as my canon, I'm entirely emotionally satisfied with it. And Edie's speech was just absolutely beautiful. Mark Meir and Jennifer Hale's speeches were really nice too. They did some really good voice acting in the Control ending. Control ending felt a little bit creepy to me, I have to say. I'm not sure I trust Shepard 100% to always be a benevolent god, Reaper god. So I avoided Control, both in the original ending and in the new ending. And Destroy, I just felt, you're committing genocide on the Geth, and B, you're pretty much setting it up for the same old mistakes to happen all over again. So again, I'm going to get flamed for that in the comments, I know, but hey, there you go. Alright guys, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and there's a new Mass Effect song coming out on The Escapist tomorrow. So it'll be Thursday what date is... Thursday the 28th, new Mass Effect song tomorrow. I won't tell you what it's about, but it's a good one, and it's loud and heavy. So have a good day, and leave your comments below. Try not to flame too much. If you didn't like the ending, just let me know why. If you did like the new ending, then let me know why as well. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I just want to say thank you to BioWare, because there aren't many companies who'd have done that for their fans, guys. Taking three or 4 months out of their work to do something for free for us, because the original ending upset so many people. And you know, I think it was really good that they did that. A lot of people will say, well, it should have been there in the first place. I agree, but come on, they took 3 months out of their time to work for free, and I think that was a really nice gesture, and I think they are owed a huge thank you for that. And no, EA did not pay me to say that, so see you later, guys.